Tonight on CTV News at 6, a by-election day in Alberta that could shift the province's political landscape. The leader of the official opposition and Alberta separatists are on the ballots.
Voting for the same party, even though I don't know too much about the candidate.
Edmonton's Iranian community watching with worry and hope as bombs fly across the Middle East.
One strong viewpoint is that the Islamic regime must end, and they are wanting an end to this tyranny at all costs, this war included.
And unorthodox archery, defiance of a medical condition.
She's such a thirst for life. Like, she just wants to do things.
Warming up over the next couple of days as daytime highs should get back into the 20s. Still a chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms, though.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. Some voters in Edmonton are casting their ballots in 2 of 3 by-elections happening today in Alberta. One of Edmonton's ridings is considered a sure bet for the NDP, while the other is expected to be closer. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more on this. And Miriam, it's an important night for Alberta NDP leader Naheed Nenshi.
That's right, Jeff. This is Nenshi's chance to win a seat in the legislature, something he's likely to get. He's running in Edmonton Strathcona, former NDP leader Rachel Notley's long-term riding. And the other by-election in Edmonton is in Edmonton Ellerslie, which could be a tight race between the NDP and UCP.
Conservative Party. Yeah, I just agree with their values.
I think I will vote for NDP.
UCP will going to win this one.
Voting for the same party, even though I don't know too much about the candidate.
The seat in Edmonton Ellerslie was previously held by NDP candidate Rod Loyola. He resigned to run in the federal election. The NDP hope Gurtej Singh Brar is a match for former Conservative MLA Naresh Bardwaj, who held the seat from 2008 to 2015. One political consultant we spoke with says it'll likely be a tight race, and results could determine the future of the New Democrat Party.
It would be a surprise to me if they lost this seat. If the NDP holds on to it, shows that they remain strong in the city in their core voters. If they lose it here, that's not a good sign for them, right? It shows that in their fortress, they're losing support, and they can't afford to do that as they build towards the next provincial election.
And voting in the Edmonton Ellerslie riding opened late this morning, which means polls will stay open until 8:19 tonight. In southern Alberta, people are also voting in Old Didsbury Three Hills riding. The leader of the Republican Party of Alberta is taking a run at that seat. And we'll have the latest results on our website at ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Jeff?
Miriam, thank you. A local daycare worker is facing assault charges. RCMP have charged 21-year-old Navam Sharma with 5 counts of assault. RCMP say officers responded to complaints at Emerald Park Daycare in Sherwood Park 2 months ago. They've identified 5 victims between 5 and 8 years old. Emerald Park Daycare says Sharma worked there for 2 weeks. However, police say the assaults happened over a 3-week period between mid-March and early April. Sharma is expected in court in July. The EPS Homicide Unit is investigating a woman's death in southwest Edmonton. Police were called about an injured woman inside a home in the Chappelle neighborhood this morning. Police say she was in medical distress. Paramedics tried to save her, but she died there. Investigators consider her death to be suspicious. And the 19-year-old man has died after crashing his motorcycle early Sunday morning. It happened at 49A Street in Millwoods Road just after 1:30 a.m. Police say the driver lost control of the motorcycle before hitting a curb and a tree. Police believe the driver was speeding. Some members of Edmonton's Iranian community say they are dealing with many emotions watching the conflict unfolding back home. While they don't want to see airstrikes, some tell CTV News they hope this leads to a regime change. CTV's Nerman Issa reports.
At this Iranian restaurant on White Ave, kebabs and rice are being served up with a side of politics. Customers are talking about the escalating tensions between Iran and Israel.
Yeah, we don't want to fight with anyone. We don't want wars.
Salar Melli came to Canada in 2009. His mom is still in Iran. He says he hasn't been able to reach her in days due to the government shutting down the internet.
She lives in a city that's been hit, but, we can get some messages out very periodically, so I know they're safe for now.
It's been 11 days since Iran and Israel started trading airstrikes. Some from Edmonton's Iranian community say while they don't want to see parts of their country reduced to rubble, they do want to see the government toppled.
I hope this regime falls really fast because people of Iran have no problem with anybody in the West, or I think people of Iran are very kind of want Iran to be a modern country.
This man has been glued to the news reports from back home. He hopes the conflict leads to change.
We were so upset, and worried. Yeah, always they heard the bombing and all of this is the Iranian government fault.
This Iranian activist says the conflict has brought on conflicting thoughts for many Iranians.
One strong viewpoint is that the Islamic regime must end, and they are wanting an end to this tyranny at all costs, this war included. And then there is another group that is opposed to foreign country invading Iran and strongly believe that no democracy will be achieved unless it comes from social movements and change being carried out by the people of Iran.
An Iranian community worried for loved ones back home as the tensions and the strikes escalate. Naramnisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
We also heard from the University of Alberta today. The school says it is aware of 19 U of A students currently in Iran. It says multiple other students have made their way to the Iranian border, while others have plans to travel to Turkey. RCMP say a 6-year-old who disappeared from his home in Cold Lake Sunday has been found dead. Police put out a notice about the missing boy just before 8 o'clock Sunday night. It said he was last seen around 5 that afternoon. An RCMP update after midnight said the boy was found dead. Police say the death is not considered suspicious and they will not release the cause. A man who survived last week's Rockslide in Banff has identified his friend as the second victim. Khalid Gamal says this is one of the last pictures he took with his friend Hamza Benalo. It was taken the day before the rockslide that killed the 33-year-old from BC and a 70-year-old woman from Calgary. The friends immigrated to Canada in 2022 to get their MBAs and were roommates in Surrey. They were vacationing in Calgary and Banff for a week. A hotel guest suggested visiting Bow Lake. Khalid says they hiked up the falls and took these photos seconds before he described hearing and seeing part of the mountain give way.
He still tried to save me. He did scream out loud, telling me to run, and that's kind of like what helped me get back on to my senses and start running, because I was like in a shock, and I thought it seemed like a movie scene, just seeing rocks coming from the sky there.
Khalid says Hamza's brother is flying in from Morocco to try to bring his body home. RCMP have charged an 18-year-old after finding guns during a search earlier this month. Police say the organized crime team found a number of guns at the home in Marwayne, just north of Lloydminster. Officers believe at least some of the guns were stolen, and the accused was trying to sell the guns illegally online. He's facing firearms-related charges, including weapons trafficking. Alberta Health is confirming 2 new cases of measles in the Edmonton zone. That brings the total in Edmonton since the outbreak started to 9. The increase comes after warnings of several exposures in and around the city. The Edmonton cases are 2 of 30 new cases since Friday. Province-wide, a total of 1,050 cases have now been confirmed. The majority of measles cases in Alberta have been in unvaccinated children. A new event park beside Rogers Place is complicating the debate around a special tax program downtown. Council is deciding whether to extend the community revitalization levy that would boost investment in the core. Right now, that investment includes public money for projects on land owned by the Oilers Entertainment Group. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
Alex Dakota Park opened downtown in 2017. Community green space paid for through a special tax program called a community revitalization levy.
We see this as a large benefit for the downtown community.
Since 2015, the CRL has funded parks, infrastructure upgrades, and other so-called catalyst projects downtown. The city says they've helped generate nearly $5 billion worth of investment and development, including towers, the arena, and LRT. But after the pandemic interrupted that momentum, council is considering a 10-year extension, which business leaders and downtown boosters say is vital.
We're talking about $550 million in tax uplift that is coming that will be lost without the extension.
One of the projects in line for city funding if the CRL is extended is this event park beside Rogers Place, plus some site servicing for homes north of the arena, all on land owned by the Oilers Entertainment Group.
This is not about the fan park. One councillor is making this about the fan park. This is about downtown Edmonton and the entire city's fiscal sustainability over the next 20 years.
The owners can pay for it themselves. They don't need Edmontonians to pay for this. We have a lot of other priorities that we need to pay for.
The provincial government has committed nearly $130 million to the Ice District projects if the city pitches in millions of public dollars through the CRL.
The province and the Oilers Entertainment Group setting up this deal and then sharing it with Edmontonians. This is not how this should go.
Jans would like to put the event park funding to Edmontonians in a referendum, separating it from the CRL debate, a tax program he otherwise sees as beneficial as it would help build transit, bridges, beautification on Jasper Ave, and more. The event park is expected to be front and center in a public hearing at City Hall Thursday. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A junior high student is defying her medical condition competing for a school sports team. It's thanks in part to the people in her life and at her school. CTV's Evan Kenny has the story.
Go ahead. It's an unorthodox way to do archery, but this is the system Kaya and her principal have come up with. They have to shoot like this because the grade 9 student has arthrogryposis multiplex congenita and clubbed hands and feet. AMC affects people's joints, often fixing them in one position.
When I was born, my legs were curved inwards like that, so I had a few surgeries to straighten my legs out.
She says she always wanted to play a sport, but the condition makes even simple daily tasks a challenge.
Can't walk long distances without feeling tired. Like even just walking to school, and I live like 5 minutes away, it's a lot of effort just because my legs aren't that strong.
I've had the opportunity to kind of see her go through for some of her challenges and how she's overcome things.
They've been a dynamic duo for the past 5 years, creating a special bond, even comparing themselves to cartoon characters SpongeBob and Patrick.
I'm Patrick.
Competing in archery comes with its own learning curve, let alone tag teaming it, but eventually they hit the bullseye. No shock to the people closest to Kaya.
She's such a thirst for life. Like, she just wants to do things, and it's
and she's a go-getter. Like, she just, nothing stops her.
Holding a bow and watching an arrow whiz by isn't typically in a principal's job description, but Les Worthington says he's happy to do it to make her feel like she belongs.
When you're building school culture, you want every kid to feel like they're a part of something.
He has looked out for her like another parent.
It makes me feel like very supported and happy that I have someone who trusts me and believes in me.
Next Monday is AMC Day, bringing awareness to the condition, but every day, Kaya is bringing awareness to the fact the condition is not holding her back. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Works Art and Design Festival is back at Churchill Square for its 40th year. For the next 11 days, indoor and outdoor spaces across Edmonton will transform into interactive art exhibits. The festival has partnered with more than 18 art galleries, venues, and events to expand beyond the festival grounds. This year's theme is Groundworks.
If you take a look around, you're going to see a lot of tree sculptures, some flower sculptures, some garden pieces, a lot of very nature-influenced work that relates directly to Groundworks.
The Works in Art Festival includes exhibitions of all shapes and sizes, hands-on activities, and live music performances. It is free and open to all ages. And the City of Edmonton is getting ready for Canada Day. It says fireworks will be set off at 11 p.m. over the Central River Valley. It says great viewing locations around the River Valley include Victoria Park, Ezio Ferrone Park, and the Legislature grounds. No viewing will be allowed from Kinsman Park. The city is reminding drivers Canada Day fireworks will mean road closures in the area will lead to traffic delays a couple of hours before and after the show. You can find those road closures on the City of Edmonton website. All right, Josh, 5:30 this morning, I thought a large truck hit my house when that first clap of thunder. My goodness, that was loud.
Yeah, I don't think you were the only person.
No, certainly not. No, a lot of people talking about it.
Blasted out of bed early this morning with those thunderstorms that rolled through. For most areas, it was a lot of thunder and heavy rain. For parts of the city, though, there's a little bit of hail, especially in North Edmonton, some small hail as that storm blasted through. We're at 13 degrees downtown Edmonton right now, as temperatures really have not moved all that much through the course of the day today. We started the day at 8 degrees, 14 so far for the daytime high. I think once the official numbers are in, we might get to 15 here, 22. The average for this time of year. So well below average, whether it's 14 or 15 that ends up as the high. There's what it looks like outside right now with the CTV drone, and you can see there is a little bit of blue breaking through the clouds. No real significant clearing through this afternoon. We should see a bit more sunshine, though, through the first half of the day tomorrow, and temperatures tomorrow will be a whole lot warmer than today. No more showers and thunderstorms for tonight, though, as those clouds will start to clear out. You can see on the satellite and radar map, there are some showers and thunderstorms still in east central and northeastern Alberta, as well as across parts of southern Alberta. But here at Edmonton, it'll be a dry night tonight. Sunshine and 6 degrees tomorrow morning. 3 or 4 degree range outside the city, so it'll be a chilly start to the day, up to about 22 or 23, though, with some increasing cloud. And then tomorrow night, could see another shower or thunderstorm. We'll take a closer look at that and the rest of your 5 and 10 day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Josh. Stay with us. Coming up, Bobcat attack.
She was screaming. I could hear her screaming. I saw the attack.
A territorial wildcat showing she's not scared of humans when it comes to defending her kittens. Also next.
It buys us time, but we're still going to see fire danger increase in the coming weeks.
Alberta Wildfire warning about what's to come despite a rainy reprieve.
Brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A Calgary woman was hospitalized after being attacked by a bobcat this morning. Neighbors say they've reported the animals before because they were concerned something like this could happen. CTV's Jordan Canigan reports.
It was just after 10 o'clock Monday morning when neighbors say a bobcat attacked a woman walking her dog.
And then the bobcat ran. As soon as I opened the door, he ran towards the alley, and he attacked Dan and his wife, attacked the woman. She went down and she was screaming.
Police, paramedics, and fish and wildlife officers all responding to the southeast community of Parkland. The woman was sent to hospital with minor cuts and scratches.
Very, very unusual. In my years in the city of Calgary, the only time that we've had bobcats contact humans has been when they feel cornered or threatened.
Neighbors say the bobcat and her kittens have been living under a deck in the area for weeks. They called the city and Fish and Wildlife before, worried something like this would happen.
She's been hunting by herself, and then the kittens stay under the deck, and she comes back with something, drags it under the deck, and we've made noise and kind of banged around and tried to get them to leave, but they're not going in. She wasn't going anywhere.
Cages were brought out and officers tracked the animals. The mother and kittens made multiple trips across the street near where the attack happened.
It's very, very scary. Like, could it be me? I was going to walk my dog 15 minutes earlier, and I didn't, and that's when it all happened.
As of late Monday, the bobcat and kittens still hadn't been captured.
We have to balance out, our course of actions, whether we want to euthanize or live trap or just leave things as they are.
Well, that was scary. That sort of changed my mind about those bobcats.
Jordan Canigan, CTV News, Calgary.
Cooler temperatures and rain have helped tame the wildfire situation in most areas across Alberta. The province says fires in the northern region are expected to escalate, though, in the next few days. According to the provincial dashboard, 50 wildfires are burning across Alberta, 19 considered out of control. Alberta Wildfire says wildfires in the northern Slave Lake and high-level forest areas did not get the same moisture as other parts of the province. It says many of the fires burning across the province are also burning underground. It says rain can help buy time, but it's not usually enough to put them out. Wildfire officials warn it's still early in the season with a lot of heat ahead.
It doesn't take much for that moisture to evaporate, so it buys us time, but we're still going to see fire danger increase in the coming weeks, especially as the heat of the summer really settles in. That's just to be expected.
Thunderstorms carry the potential to start new fires. The province also says during a long weekend there's a spike in human-caused fires. They're asking people to be cautious this Canada Day. Coming up, homegrown talent.
It means a lot to me to play here. It's very important to me that this team is successful.
The Edmonton Elks hoping some local players provide the spark needed to win back football fans.
After a cool weekend and an even cooler day today, that's a pretty cool shot, actually, from the CTV drone. It's warming up back into the 20s over the next couple of days. The forecast is next.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
The Edmonton Elks are on the road on Thursday looking for their first win of the season. The team is trying to return to former glory, both on the field and in the community. As CTV's Evan Kenny reports, they're hoping local players can help them do it.
Has had a quiet day. He may not be a household name, but David Beard has a hand in on every Elks touchdown this season. He's back anchoring the offensive line after spending the past 2 seasons with the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a real treat to play in front of the fans, and I hope that they're as excited as we are.
The Sherwood Park product played in Edmonton between 2015 and 2022.
And going through the years and having ups and downs, and then coming here and being just as excited about this year it's a treat.
That same excitement is being felt by 2 other locals. Josiah Shackle and Mark Cordy grew up watching the Double E's win Grey Cups. Shackle is from Sherwood Park, while Cordy was born in Spruce Grove.
As a kid, you always dream like, oh yeah, like I want to play for the Eskimos one day or the Elks now. But actually, like doing it's another thing.
While there's added pressure suiting up for the hometown team, the players say it's an honor to play live in front of friends and family.
It means a lot to me to play here. It's very important to me that this team is successful and that we have good results, especially at home.
Having Morris come in as president, really putting emphasis on family, that's been huge because I have my whole family here. It's great for them to come out to games.
After a few down years for the franchise that included a CFL record losing streak 2 seasons ago, they're excited to show a new and improved product on the field.
Let's go and show the city of Edmonton what it really means to play for this team.
The local players and the rest of the team take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Thursday. They'll return home to host Ottawa the first weekend of July. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
Our Josh's been cool and wet, but warm is on the way.
Yeah,
right?
Still more wet, but at least we can add another W word in there as temperatures warm up back into the 20s. Right now, sitting at 14 degrees as you look through the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace, fixed rider, it's free. Starting to see a little bit more clearing out there. 15 degrees will go down as the daytime high for today. 14.5 officially. 18 in Fort McMurray. High level got to 20 degrees today. Look at Red Deer was only at 14, though. 11 in Lloydminster. Grand Prairie close to 20. 19 for the daytime high. Even area of low pressure off to the east. That's been setting off all kinds of severe weather in through portions of Saskatchewan. Some non-severe showers and thunderstorms in northeastern Alberta and east central Alberta. And we've had some showers and thunderstorms as well across parts of south and southwestern Alberta. These will all pass well to the west of the Red Deer region. So you're going to stay dry. Red Deer north towards Edmonton, up into northwestern Alberta overnight tonight. And here across the northeast, well, we're starting to lose some of the lightning, and that will continue to weaken as we head through the rest of this evening. So by the time you get to mid to late this evening, the rain should all be done. Sunshine to start the day here in the Edmonton area. There is a chance of some showers in through the Peace Country, maybe even Whitecourt tomorrow morning. And so there's a slight risk as this moves east that you might get a brief shower around lunchtime in parts of the Edmonton region, especially if you're just north or on the north side of the city. I think the better chance is that this all stays to the north of Edmonton, but a slight risk there around lunchtime. Better chance is going to come tomorrow night. Through the afternoon hours, this is 5 p.m., up around Peace River, and then down through the foothills, we'll start to see some isolated thunderstorms pop up. Those will track east-northeast. Looks like they're going to retain some strength well into the evening hours. So late tomorrow night around the Edmonton area could be some big thunderstorms pushing through. And then Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud, and this will be widely scattered activity, but a chance again for some hit-and-miss showers and thunderstorms Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening here in the city. 15 in Fort McMurray right now. It's 19 in Grand Prairie, 14s in Edmonton and Red Deer. You're back into single digits in Lloydminster at 9 degrees. We'll be at 9 degrees around midnight tonight. 6 with some sunshine tomorrow morning. As we mentioned earlier, it could be in the 3 or 4 degree range outside the city, so a cool start to the day tomorrow. Partly cloudy tomorrow afternoon. Wind starts to pick up around lunchtime, and through the afternoon, we have wind gusting to about 30 kilometers per hour, so it will be a little breezy tomorrow. High of around 22 or 23 degrees. 25 on Wednesday. The chance for tomorrow is late tomorrow night. The best chance Wednesday is late afternoon, early evening. And then Thursday night into Friday morning, you get a chance of some showers, thunderstorms Thursday night. Friday morning, looks like it's just showers, no lightning if we get anything at all. And temperatures will get knocked back a couple of degrees there. We're in the mid-20s for Wednesday, Thursday, but back a little closer to 20 on Friday. 23 and 25 for the coming weekend. Again, late Saturday, you could see a shower or thunderstorm. And then, well, if mid-20s isn't warm enough for you, some heat with daytime highs near 30 by early next week.
Thank you, Josh. Volunteers in Edmonton are spending some of their spare time pulling weeds. The city's weed pull program teaches people about invasive plants and how to manage them. One threat in our city is Japanese knotweed. The rapidly growing plant can invade cracks in houses, eventually damaging the foundation or worse.
Because they're so beautiful, I think people don't realize the impact that they can have. But these plants are really good at being plants. They produce a ton of seeds, or they spread really quickly, grow really quickly, and they outcompete our native plants. So they're reducing the biodiversity that should be here in Edmonton's River Valley.
Weed pull events take place every Saturday in different spots. You can register on the City of Edmonton's website. Stay with us. Up next, potential ceasefire in the Middle East.
We will see exactly whether Iran is actually able to effectively respond.
President Donald Trump says a ceasefire is on the way after Iran targeted a U.S. military base. Also next.
We look forward to moving to an ever closer partnership with the European Union.
The Prime Minister signs a new defense deal with Europe against the backdrop of the conflict in the Middle East.
James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
U.S. President Donald Trump says a ceasefire between Israel and Iran will begin tonight. The ceasefire comes after Iran made good on its threat to attack the United States. The U.S. says it was expecting the so-called symbolic retaliation on a U.S. military base in Qatar after it dropped 30,000-pound bunker bombs on 3 nuclear facilities. CTV's Joy Melvin has more from Washington.
Explosions boomed over the night sky, terrifying images of missiles seen over Doha and posted on social media. Iranian state TV said it fired missiles at the Al Adid U.S. military base that President Donald Trump visited just 1 month ago. Qatar says its air defenses managed to intercept Iranian missiles, and no casualties have been reported. The attack was announced on Iran state TV Proportionate. Iran said to the attack by the U.S., it was bomb for bomb. This was retaliation, Iran says, for the U.S. bombing Saturday. Satellite imagery shows the damage to 3 nuclear facilities targeted by the U.S. President Donald Trump warned Iran this was a one-off and not to strike back, or else.
Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Iran reportedly gave Qatar advance notice of the attacks, temporarily closing its airspace, U.S. military bases, and major U.S. cities on high alert. The president meeting with his national security team and the Trump administration stressing,
we're not at war with Iran, we're at war with Iran's nuclear program.
But it comes as the president, sure to anger Iran, floated the idea of regime change.
Of course, Iran would like to escalate in response to the Israeli and the American attacks, but we will see exactly whether Iran is actually able to effectively respond. And I think this is what we're going to see over the next 48 hours.
Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
The conflict in the Middle East was top of mind even as the Prime Minister made new commitments with European leaders. Mark Carney was in Belgium today to sign a new defense and security agreement. CTV's Jeremy Charron has the latest from Brussels.
A morning visit to a military cemetery kick-started Prime Minister Mark Carney's first full day in Belgium. A ceremony to honor hundreds of fallen Canadian soldiers buried here after the First and Second World War. Ahead of this Canada-EU summit, a meeting between Carney and European leaders focused on joint security and defense.
Very, very warm welcome to this EU-Canada summit.
We look forward to moving to an ever closer partnership with the European Union.
Here, Carney signed a new security and defense pact with European Union leaders aimed at diversifying its trade and defense industrial partnerships, billed as a first step towards more defense procurement from Europe and an eventual plan to get Canada into the Rearm Europe military program.
It will help us deliver on our new requirements for capabilities more rapidly and more effectively. It will help build our industries, secure our jurisdictions.
But Carney's European trip has been dominated already by the escalating war in the Middle East. The Prime Minister spoke with President Trump overnight and says de-escalation was a focus of their conversation.
Where the state of Iran has been a sponsor of terrorism, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and beyond. And where at least in our opinion, Canada has listed the Iranian Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization, active terrorist organization. These are violations of international law.
Carney travels to The Hague in the morning for a highly anticipated NATO meeting where it's expected the conflict in the Middle East will dominate too. NATO's Secretary General was pressed on it today.
That is why NATO has said Iran should not, and this is a consistent position of NATO, Iran should not have its hands on a nuclear weapon. So, and I would not agree that this is against international law, what the U.S. did.
The Hague summit will also see the alliance look at a new baseline spending target of 5% of GDP. Canada only this month committed to meeting the current 2% target this fiscal year, a decade after the alliance agreed to it. Jeremy Charron, CTV News, Brussels.
Mark Carney has named Kristen Hillman the new chief negotiator with the U.S. Hillman is the current ambassador to the United States. She has accompanied Intergovernmental Affairs Minister Dominic LeBlanc to meetings between the Prime Minister and President Donald Trump. She has served as ambassador since 2019. While BC Premier David Eby continues to downplay the idea of a new northern pipeline from Alberta to the coast, he insists it's not a point of friction. He spoke to CTV's Vashi Kapelos on Question Period, reiterating his promise that he's open to discussion even if a new route is unlikely.
Sometimes I feel like the media is gathering around and chanting fight, fight, fight between us and Alberta right now. There's no fight here. The concern that I have is a matter of priorities. You know, we have a taxpayer-funded pipeline, the TMX pipeline. It's owned by Canadians. It's not operating at capacity. There's 200,000 additional barrels of capacity in that pipeline. Let's start there.
Eby has faced criticism from Premier Danielle Smith on the issue. She has said Eby is the only one holding up the process. Manitoba has lifted a province-wide state of emergency. The province says the emergency rules are no longer needed as the danger from wildfires has lessened. 23 fires are still burning in Manitoba. 7 are out of control. About 21,000 people were forced to leave their homes over the past few weeks. About 9,000 have been allowed to return. More are expected to go home in the days ahead, particularly in and around Flin Flon. They're on track to start returning on Wednesday. Still ahead, a highly anticipated taxi service makes its debut.
That's the robotaxi ride.
Details on the rollout and Elon Musk's ambitions for the company in the coming year. The local owner of a car with some royal history gets a first look at his restored ride. And there is a look from in downtown Edmonton. We are just coming around the corner for a look at the construction site at Warehouse Park at Jasper and 106th Street. There are road closures in the area for construction to proceed. This highly anticipated park won't be open for quite some time. Stay with us. Checking on the markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents to the American dollar, down slightly from Friday. Oil was down more than $5, ending the day at $68.51 U.S. a barrel. Gold gained $9.30 on the day. The TSX closed up 111 points. The Dow Jones was up 374. Ford is recalling 32,000 of its Mach-E electric vehicles in Canada over the risk of possibly trapping passengers inside. The models in the recall are the Mustang Mach-E midsize SUVs, the years 2021 to 2025. Ford says a low battery charge could cause the vehicle's electronic door latches to remain locked once the driver or front passenger exits and shuts their door. This could leave backseat passengers unable to unlock their doors, trapping them inside. Ford says there are no reports of any injuries related to this issue, and a software update is in the works. Tesla has rolled out its robo-taxis. Elon Musk is calling them the result of a decade of hard work. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more on the technology and the competition it faces.
Tesla's first robo-taxis are officially on the road.
First Tesla robo-taxi ride.
Elon Musk's company launching its long-awaited self-driving taxi service in Austin, Texas, offering rides to a select group. The cost, a flat rate of $4.20 per ride.
There's no driver. There's no, ghost person up there.
While they're technically driverless, each car still has a safety monitor, a Tesla employee riding in the passenger seat. For now, the service is limited to a handful of cars in a small area of the city, but Musk has big ambitions, not just for robo-taxis, but for every Tesla.
By the end of next year, we'll have hundreds of thousands, if not over 1 million Teslas doing self-driving in the U.S.
Tesla calling this a precursor to the Cybercab, which the company says will go into production next year.
You'll be able to take a ride in the Cybercab. There's no steering wheel or pedals.
Driving development of the self-driving software, artificial intelligence, trained by consuming data from millions of Teslas on the road.
It's like living millions of lives simultaneously and seeing very unusual situations that a person in their entire lifetime would not see.
Musk says the Cybercab and other Teslas could one day be rented out by their owners to make extra money. Tesla taking a first step into a space where other companies are already well ahead. Waymo currently handles 250,000 paid rides a week across multiple cities, and at least 3 other companies are now testing autonomous vehicles. Amazon's autonomous vehicle company Zoox just opened a factory in the San Francisco Bay Area with plans to test its vehicle in Las Vegas this year. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
A Red Deer company has been hired to help improve Canada's Arctic defense. Technologics in Red Deer is working with ATCO Frontech to create a new type of radar system in Canada, a polar over-the-horizon radar. Typical radar systems are limited by the curvature of the Earth. The new system will send a beam into the ionosphere and bounce it back, giving it a much larger range. While similar systems exist across the world, no other system needs to be able to go through the Aurora Borealis. ATCO Frontech says this project is a long time in the making.
You know, has it got a new urgency because of the state of the world right now? Yes, I think it absolutely has. And there is now broad political support for improving our defensive systems. And there is a big focus right now on what needs to be done in the Arctic. And I think, that's well overdue. We've been neglecting it for a long time.
The first of 3 installations of the experimental radar will be in the Northwest Territories. The project is scheduled to be complete by 2027. The owner of a 1951 Lincoln Cosmopolitan got a look at his restored ride this weekend.
It looks spectacular, right? Like the flying bird and with the gold and the silver. And I mean, they went right through the car. Every little piece was massaged and, brought up to like an amazing level.
Ron Lyons has been working with NAIT students to restore vehicles for about 20 years. He says he's impressed by the students' latest efforts. NAIT says this was one of 60 convertibles the Canadian government purchased for Princess Elizabeth during a trip to Canada before she became queen. Lyons plans to drive it to car shows this summer. It will then go on display at his Gulf Country Club's car museum. Coming up, a Canadian making history on the basketball court.
This is the greatest Canadian basketball player ever.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
It's an historic day for the International Olympic Committee as it welcomes new leadership.
We are the guardians of this incredible platform. And it's not just about a multi-sport event. It's a platform to inspire. It's a platform to change lives. And it's a platform to bring hope.
7-time Olympic medalist Christy Coventry took over today in Lausanne, Switzerland. She's the first woman and first African to lead the committee. Her 8-year term begins tomorrow. A giant of the basketball court with Canadian roots is once again making history. Ontario's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander helped the Oklahoma City Thunder capture their first NBA title last night. As CTV's Mike Walker reports, he has quickly become one of the league's biggest stars.
A giant image of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander proudly on display outside his former high school, Sir Alan McNabb. And there is civic pride today with the Hamilton native, now an NBA champion.
Proud to be a Hamiltonian. It's like he has wings, he can fly. It's just so hard to describe. I'm just totally amazed.
It's nice to hear a Hamilton boy winning it.
Gilgeous-Alexander led the way with 29 points as the Oklahoma City Thunder won their first NBA championship, defeating the Pacers 103-91 in Game 7.
It's everything. That's why you play the sport. You play the sport to win.
The 26-year-old capturing the finals MVP, a first for a Canadian.
Asking about what makes him, separates him probably from the bunch. I think that's it, is consistency and the discipline to get better.
His father calls this success a blessing after years of hard work and a strong support system.
Late nights in the gym, early mornings, trainers and coaches and all the people that helped us get here. You don't do that stuff by yourself.
Gilgeous-Alexander now enters an elite club, becoming only the 4th player in NBA history to win league MVP, finals MVP, the scoring title, and championship, all in the same season.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, and now Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So he's in great company, rare company. And look, I have seen enough to say with confidence that this is the greatest Canadian basketball player ever.
The way that he's representing Canada is just unbelievable.
Tim Francis was Gilgeous-Alexander's high school basketball coach and watched the finals beaming with pride.
Being an NBA champion, being an MVP of the finals, an MVP of the league, I don't think anybody saw that coming. But we did know that he was going to get to whatever his goals were.
He says Gilgeous-Alexander's success story on and off the court is a huge inspiration for young players.
Humble beginnings and hard work and what that can get you to, how that can pay off.
Only a dozen Canadian players have won an NBA title. Family and hometown fans hoping Gilgeous-Alexander will see much more success on the court. Mike Walker, CTV News, Hamilton.
SGA, as you like to say. You're very proud, I can tell.
My son and I saw him in San Francisco earlier this year. He is sneaky lethal.
Yeah.
Just 45 points, and you're like,
wait, how did that happen?
Yeah. Already? Congratulations to Shai. 6 degrees tomorrow morning. It'll be a little chilly in the morning. 23 tomorrow afternoon. There's a slight chance around lunchtime you might see a brief spotty shower. I think dry for most of the day until we get to tomorrow night. That would be our better chance at seeing a thunderstorm. After a couple of cool days with daytime highs below 20, back into the 20s for the next 4 or 5 days.
All right. Thanks, Josh, and thanks for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit ctvnewsedmonton.ca. See ya.